to be selling for just around $25,000 to maybe $30,000, this Transcend Xplor bunkhouse model is a whole heck of a lot of camper for the price. Let's go take a look at it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here taking a look at this 2025 Grand Design Transcend Xplor. It's the 26BHX, and you'll be able to see the floor plan layout and some of the specs on the screen. We have a little tiny graphic here of the floor plan layout on this 26BHX, but love already that it has a 60 by 80 residential queen size bed and a really practical layout that actually isn't too common for bunkhouse travel trailers, but makes a whole lot of sense. And again, price on this, it's going to be right at about $25,000 to $30,000, which I think is a pretty dang good deal for how much travel trailer you get here with that size. Plus, in addition to that, it has a 56-gallon freshwater capacity, a 78-gallon gray water capacity, and a 39-gallon wastewater capacity. Now, keep in mind with that 78-gallon gray water capacity, I'm sure that is split up into multiple different tanks, as you're going to have your bathroom in the back corner here, and then you're going to have your kitchen sink here. My thought is these more than likely have two separate tanks, but if that happens to not be true, we'll see if we can figure that out here as we go through this camper. But this here is going to be a aluminum sided wood framed travel trailer from Grand Design. This pretty much makes this like an entry level travel trailer. And now, before I get too far into it, I know like every time I post a video of a Grand Design, there's at least one comment of somebody talking about frame issues in Grand Design, and I just feel like that is not even a necessary thing to talk about here on a travel trailer, because the only time that those issues were seen were on fifth wheel RVs, and it wasn't just Grand Design, it was other brands too. But this here is not anything that you have to worry about with frame issues, because I have not seen any evidence of any sort of frame failures on any travel trailers from any brand really anywhere on the internet. So I'm not saying that maybe there's not a rare case out there that it does exist, but what we saw going on over the past year or 2 years of like frame failure and frame flex issues was specifically with fifth wheel RVs and didn't impact travel trailers virtually at all. That I literally didn't see a single instance of that. So let's just nip that out of the way real quick in case anybody feels the need to mention something on that. That's not a concern that you should be worried about here on these travel trailers, as I haven't seen any evidence of that being a concern. Up here you have two 20-pound propane bottles, power tongue jack here with a light there, and then it also is going to have your spot for your battery back here. And one thing I like that they do on here that not all aluminum sided travel trailers will do is you actually have your water connections inside of the storage area, so they're not out here exposed on the sidewall. That's pretty nice having that back behind here. It does not have solar installed on the roof, although it does already have all the wiring installed on the roof to add solar if you want to add solar. So I think that's part of what is making this price so much more competitive as well, is a lot of people got hyped up over solar and the idea of having solar, but I think people that camp frequently and or just experienced campers, they might find that they don't actually need solar depending on what kind of camping you're doing. Like most times you're going to be at a spot that is going to allow you to hook up to power anyways for most people's camping experiences, so the solar isn't really necessary. And then also the solar packages that you get, very rarely do they actually do anything other than just trickle charge your battery to make sure your battery stays charged so you can turn the lights on in the camper, and that's about it. So you can let me know your thoughts on that and what you think about like a solar setup and whether or not that's like necessary or mandatory on an RV. On this one here, you're getting a great price, but you will have to pay to install solar on here if that is something that you want to do. Down underneath here, as I suspected, you have a gray tank outlet here for your kitchen sink, and then there's going to be another black and gray tank dump valve area on the other side of the axles for the bathroom. Looks like we have a through frame slide out. Yep, through frame slide out with a rack and pinion style mechanism there. So nice on that. And that is pretty much everything on this side. Manual stabilizers here, and you can just shoot those down real quick with a drill connection. As we go along this way, you have your awning out here. It does cover the entry door and your outdoor kitchen. So like that, has the LED light strip underneath there. A single JBL outdoor speaker. Has nice custom Grand Design caps on those wheels there. And then it has a standard leaf spring suspension here, which So far, haven't had any complaints on this. I have a standard leaf spring suspension on my travel trailer as well, and I already have over 3,000 miles on this travel trailer, so have not had any issues with my camper so far having that leaf spring style suspension. And as we keep coming along this side, you get a pretty nice outdoor kitchen setup here. I like all of the metal construction here for the housing on this griddle cooktop. It has this cast iron griddle here, and that is going to be a pretty decent sized cooktop there. Has a little drain port right here. Sorry about all the background noise if y'all can hear that kind of bleeding in, but they're getting set up for the show, so not much I can do about that. But this will all collapse back in. So nice space there. You have to do some outside cooking. You have the metal countertop there, and then it has an outlet in this space. No light here in this area that I'm seeing. You do have a little mini refrigerator with a tiny itty bitty little freezer portion area there. You could fit like, actually you could probably fit up to maybe like 6 ice cream sandwiches in there. So still a decent amount of space. And if for some reason you didn't want the little refrigerator, you could always take this out too. Or if you didn't feel like you needed it. Come back along this way. It is going to have manual stabilizers down underneath with a fully enclosed underbelly. So all your water tanks and water lines sit above that enclosed underbelly there. Has a gas and electric 6-gallon water heater. You can attach a Lippert ladder to get up onto the roof here. That would be that retractable ladder. And then along the back here, you have a spray port on the back side of your travel trailer. So water source there for some outside water. Back here you have your connection for power, and this is actually a 30 amp supply there. Now that is the only thing I might be a little bit concerned about. I wonder if this only comes in a 30 amp offering. I'd be curious about that. Let me do a little digging here real quick. I have their website pulled up. I'm curious if they offer a 50 amp option on this. Let's see. I am not seeing anywhere to option a 50 amp connection on this travel trailer, so that's not something that would be super recommended for your more southern, hotter climates in the summer. If you plan to camp in climates like that, it might be a little bit rough as it gets hotter outside, so just something to keep in mind. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go inside though. We'll dig a little deeper into that. You have a friction hinge door, so I love that. That's going to basically kind of prevent this door from, slamming into the sidewall, which you are going to want to prevent because this here, the way it's set up, it actually is going to hit that awning arm. Now it does have like a little, like kind of rubber sleeve right there that kind of protects that when it hits that, but as you can see, it hits that there nonetheless. So the friction arm will help prevent that from swinging into that arm right there. As we step inside, there's another thing I want to mention, because on these Lippert solid steps, one thing that I have always just not been able to stand on these steps is the fact that you would have to pull a pin out to adjust your legs. It makes it really frustrating and hard to do, especially when it's cold outside or anything like that and your fingers are cold. This here, they have this new latch system, so you basically just pull up on this latch right here, and it allows this leg to basically move up and down, and you can get control of that with just that latch system. So it's a much better system now from the Lippert solid steps, and the Lippert solid steps give you a little bit of advantage with having this larger top step than what you might get with like a MORryde step above step. You have a spot here for a leash holder and your bottle opener. And then as we step inside, pretty great floor plan layout in here. Great amount of countertop space around the sink. You have great seating options in here as well, and seating space. As I'm looking back into the main bedroom here, I'm not seeing an additional AC attachment. And as I look back into the bedroom here, I'm not seeing an additional attachment here or a different hookup spot for another AC unit. So as I look at this and just think about this travel trailer, it is something I would, be hesitant to purchase in a colder or a warmer climate. Now, if you plan on doing camping in places during the summer like Colorado, Utah, Maine, New York, Michigan, different areas like that, you're probably going to be fine. Like if you're up north anywhere and that's where you do most of your camping, I don't think you're going to have an issue with this camper. My family doing most of our camping in Colorado most of my life would be just fine in something like this. Wouldn't really be concerned. During the day, it definitely is, cool enough that a lot of times we've not even needed to turn the AC on in our camper. But as we go back in the bedroom and start back here real quick, it is a 60 by 80 queen size bed in here. So really like that. And you can see the AC is ducted back into this area with this single AC duct vent. So that will get air back into this space, but it's also kind of like an open cavity into this area so that you get airflow kind of moving into this area as well that way. I have noticed too, just like in my own travel trailer, like in these small spaces as well, it is sometimes important to have airflow because areas can get a little warm just with body heat alone in these smaller spaces. So I think, again, this would work for, you know, those colder climate states. But gosh, I would really not like to see somebody get a travel trailer like this and then try to camp in like Texas in the summer and just be miserable. I would not want you to end up in that situation. Now, there are other like portable AC units and stuff like that you could get if for some reason you just fall in love with this floor plan, or maybe you didn't know and you're watching this video now and you bought this and you're like, what the heck? I can't get the bedroom area cool. You have outlets and USB ports there with the USB Type-C plug. There are portable AC units that you can get. Go look on Amazon or something like that. There are other solutions that you can find to cool down the area. Keep in mind, my travel trailer that I bought, it's not quite as long as this, but it does also only have one air conditioner. So I am making it work and will be making it work as well with one AC that does not sit over my bedroom area in my camper. So there's ways to make it work. Really nice kitchen storage space here, and a pretty interesting setup here in the kitchen where you have this, you know, deeper slide out box here where this 3-burner stove sits. So many campers are going away from an oven to give people more storage. So you don't have an oven here, but what's interesting is this stove sits really low. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of show you how this sits right here. Look at how low this is. It's like almost at my knees. That's something that's kind of interesting about it. It just feels a little strange, but if I was shorter, like right here, it'd probably feel great. I'm probably standing at this height, probably about 5'7" or so. That would feel awesome. So for any women, I think this would be great, or any just like shorter men. But man, once you get to like 6 feet plus, this just feels like it's so low. You almost have to bend over to cook in that area. So kind of interesting there how they, did not make that super tall. I think it'll be great for some people, and then it will feel a little bit restrictive for others. Back behind here, you have a decent amount of countertop space there. And then it will have the vent fan up above here, so it will vent out smells while you're cooking. And then you will have your pretty standard RV size microwave there. Also nice to vent out while you're cooking. That way you don't have like condensation buildup and stuff like that in the camper. Yeah, solid wood cabinet doors. So pretty nice there. And then you can see here they're doing like a wrapped kind of decorative finish on these. So that is something just to be aware of, where like if you're really, really particular about cosmetics and stuff, when you open up these cabinets, you are going to have things like that on them. Not a huge deal. My travel trailer that I have has that as well, and it still works just fine, but it's just something to be aware of, where it's not going to have like that stained hardwood finish like you would see in some of the higher end trailers. Magnet latches to hold those doors shut. You have that little cubby area here. And then again, great amount of countertop space. This is going to be like a wrapped style countertop, so it's the more lightweight countertop there. It's not like a ceramic style countertop or like a solid surface countertop, as they say in the industry. Opening up the drawers, it is a traditional plywood style drawer there. Really smooth bearings on those drawers. Got your storage space here. Spot for a trash can. And I know some people don't like that I open all of the different storage compartments, but there's some practical reasons why I do this. One, I never know if I'm going to be, you know, surprised and come across something different like this here. There's no way without me opening it to know that part of this is blocked off underneath here. And I wouldn't want somebody to look at this and just without me opening it think that that's completely open. And two, it was actually really nice when I bought my camper and then I went to the store to buy things for different storage compartments inside my camper. I watched my video back and I was able to see the different spots that I could purchase, you know, bins for and totes for, and, you know, little drawer dividers and stuff like that. I just went through my video and I was able to see all of the different areas in the camper without having to like go through and take pictures of it myself or remember to take pictures or anything like that. So another like practical use case there for why I do this. Under here, these are some pet dishes. If you don't need those, you can take them out, but nice little spot that you can keep your pets food and water down underneath there. Just be careful if you leave water in there. Don't forget that it's in there and make sure to rinse that out. It's very easy to do. Actually, on my first camping trip, if you haven't seen it already, I posted it on my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel. But I had a lot of water buildup in the freezer portion because I had a bag of ice in there. The bag of ice already had condensation on it when I put it in the freezer, and then all of that water froze in the freezer. And I forgot to rinse all that out when I went to put my camper back into storage, so all that water was just pooled up in the freezer. And I even told myself to remember to do that, and I still forgot. So just try to keep in mind if there's things that you need to remember to do in your camper, to make notes of those things, because it's very easy to forget. Nice big storage down underneath there. And then with your Furrion refrigerator and freezer, it is a 12-volt refrigerator and freezer. Has like these French door openings for the refrigerator. So pretty nice space with that. I actually like how that refrigerator opens. That's pretty cool. And then you have your freezer portion down here on the bottom with a little tray. Turning to this side, in the slide out, you have your sofa. This is basically like a jackknife sofa, meaning that when you lift this up, actually it doesn't lift up, it does this kind of reverse function here. Drops down like so that you can make that into a little flat surface if you ever need that. And then it does have the legs that drop down to give you more support. Flip down armrest there with two little cup holders. And then underneath here you have more storage. No carpet in the slide outs. And underneath the slide out here, not a wrap floor underneath there, it's just exposed wood, but not too big of a deal there. I don't know that that will impact your camping experience all that much. Up underneath here, you have your black pleated shades. And speaking of slide outs too, one thing that I can't stress enough, when you go to push the slide out in or out, make sure that the floor is clear of debris. I knew this myself, and even still, somehow I had a big rock get caught underneath my slide out in my camper, and luckily it didn't do any damage to the floor, but it definitely scraped up some of the metal components back under the slide, and I was really trying to prevent that, and even still I had something happen, and it was literally like one of my first times moving the slide in and out at my storage facility, which granted does have a lot of gravel there. But you can never be too careful with just trying to make sure that you don't mess up your flooring in the RV by accidentally moving your slide in and out with a rock getting stuck underneath it, or even just like a little pebble. Spot for a TV right there. It does not come with a TV already installed, but that looks like it can fit about a 32-inch screen TV. Your dining table can drop down and make into a bed here. And then I like this little like countertop space here, whether you want to put food out to serve or just have this spot to put different items down on. Nice little spot there that you could put some stuff that you use often. Underneath here looks like should have access to storage down under here. Nice big thick plywood base on that dining area, and you can see it's just a single cubby there as you have some furnace ducting back behind there. See if I can get this back in place with one hand. There we go. And then down underneath here, let's see if this is the same or different. It's a little hard to do this with one hand. Yeah, this one is open all the way through to the back. So you do have storage underneath those areas. JBL sound system here, there's your controls for that. And then some shelving through this side there. Does not have soft close cabinet doors. Going back to your bunks, you have a little bit of storage space down underneath this bunk. And then they do make this almost rectangular. You can see it kind of elbows off here just a little bit. But up in this space, let's see if we have like the exact bunk dimensions so I don't have to jump up in here for y'all. The bunk beds, it looks like, they're gonna make me get up in here. They do not have the dimensions on their website for the bunk bed, so I guess we gotta climb up in here and see for ourselves what we're working with. This actually already feels pretty good. Okay, my head is at the wall, and you can see here My feet go right to about there. So this is probably right at about 74, 75 inches in length. So turn the camera around, you can see that is literally with my head like touching the wall right there. And I am 73 inches tall, which is 6'1" without shoes on. And those boots have about, you know, they have a heel on them. So however tall that is, it's probably about, you know, right at about 74, 75 inches in length there. Privacy curtains for each bunk. You have a light up here, a window there, and then you're gonna have outlets and USB ports right here, which are the only power sources here for the bunk bed. So everything will plug in there for anybody up in the bunks that needs to charge anything. You have your AC and furnace controls here. Then going back into the bathroom, it is going to have a plastic foot flush toilet. Has a nice big shower, and then some storage space down through the sides here. And then I didn't put it in the bathroom here, but we have liquefied. This here is a black tank treatment for your RV. So this is going to make sure that your black tank drains out properly and that everything smells fresh inside of your toilet and in that tank holding there. That's something that I'll be using in my camper and definitely recommend for you as well. So you can find that on Amazon. And then you have right here your plastic sink. Some shelving there. In the medicine cabinet, and then storage underneath here. It does not have individual shutoff valves for your water lines. Now, stepping up into this shower, it's already not like a super tall travel trailer. So if I flip the camera around, with my boots on, I'm sitting at about 6'2" to maybe 6'3". And you can see here, like, I'm already kind of close to the ceiling. It's probably only about a 6'5" ceiling height in here. So when I walk into an area like the bathroom, I have to duck. If you're over 6 feet tall, you're probably gonna have to duck to get in here. I accidentally hit my head on this as we walked into the bathroom when I was originally filming, and tried to play it off like I didn't. Tried to play it off cool. So when I step up into the shower, you have the skylight here, but it's only gonna be good for maybe 6'4" tops before you're gonna have to duck in this space. And then this area here outside of the skylight is probably only good for about 5'10" or so. Shower head sits pretty low. I'm gonna have to duck quite a bit to get underneath that. But other than that, I mean, I fit in here. It's a usable shower and it still can certainly get the job done. And then I always mention too, like, if you're just gonna be a weekend camper, I wouldn't let things like that deter you away from something as well. I understand maybe if you're camping in hot climates, or if you're, you know, going on pretty aggressive hikes and gonna sweat quite a bit, that you're gonna possibly want to take a shower. For me, personally, I had never taken a shower in an RV before. I've done dozens and dozens of RV camping trips, like the little paper towel holder, and also you have outlets there. But I bring washcloths, water, soap, body wipes, all kinds of these different things that I've used over the years to give myself the same effect of taking a shower without actually having to get up into the shower and use the water and all that different stuff. I've just never done it. So that's something there where there's other solutions that are possible if maybe, you know, you find yourself not fitting in that shower. That's just kind of how my camping experience has always gone. Like the women that are in my family that come camping, like sometimes they'll use a shower and stuff like that, and they usually do, but I just rough it, man. I'm out camping. So I've just found other ways to make it work. And even in my new camper, I've taken it out and I have yet to use a shower in it because I just am so used to how I typically camp. But other than that, that's pretty much everything on the inside here. So very curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Again, this is the Grand Design Transcend Xplor 26 BHX, and it's a very, very affordable travel trailer for the size, and I'm curious what you think. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. That's all I got for y'all, and until next time, live firmly unbound.